Welcome back to some new r/petty revenge stories, where people share small victories over those who wronged them. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called Arbitrary Deadlines. Recently, I resigned from a horrible job for a better paying one, and hopefully just overall better. When my line manager found out, she started freaking out a bit, as I'm the only person in my office who does my job, marketing. She began asking me to get everything together for my handover, so she can take on my responsibilities until they find someone to replace me. She began setting arbitrary deadlines, like asking for stuff before the end of the working day, despite me having 4 weeks left. After going through hell with this manager, I decided to see if she was really opening these things she insisted had to be done by the end of the day or not. So I began sending her corrupted files that, if you tried to open them, wouldn't. I still did the things she asked me to do, because I thought eventually she'd open them and have to ask me for the correct file. But my last day was on Friday, and she opened nothing. So come Monday, she's in for a rude awakening when she has no handover documents, no instructions, no calendar, no contacts, nothing. The next story is called Walkthrough. This was many years ago, when I was young and single. I rented a fairly expensive apartment in a nice neighborhood. I took the day off to move, because I had to vacate my current place. I arrived and the apartment has not been cleaned. It was gross. Hair in the bathroom, dust everywhere, filthy fixtures, dirty fridge and stove. But because I had to move in. The state I live in requires the landlords do a walkthrough, noting previous damage. Without this paperwork, they cannot sue for damage and must return the deposit when I move out. No one came to do the walkthrough. 2 years later, and a whole lot of drama, I moved out. While working 60-hour work weeks, I left the place a dump. I had done no housework for months due to my work. My family kept asking me if I needed help cleaning out the apartment. I said no. My entire deposit was returned to me a few weeks later. Hope they had fun cleaning it. The third story is called Yard Sale. I'm a big fan of yard sales and go to them every weekend. Recently, I went to one and made a pile of stuff that I was planning to buy and came to an agreement on price. I asked the seller if it was okay if I left the pile of stuff off to a separate corner, so that I could shop around some more to add to the pile to buy. He said that was fine and suggested that he could bundle in more stuff with whatever else I find. In the yard sale world, you don't touch someone else's pile. While I was shopping, which was within 5 minutes of talking to the seller, someone else asked the seller about the stuff, and the seller allowed the buyer to purchase my pile of stuff. I get back and asked the seller where the pile was, and he said he already sold it to someone else. I reminded the seller that it was my pile, and he had already agreed to let me buy the stuff. After I shopped around some more, he shrugged, laughed, and said it wasn't his problem. I put the other items I was planning to buy back and drove away back towards the road. At the end of his driveway, I tore down all of his yard sale signs. His driveway is very long, and it's impossible to see the sale from the road, so hopefully this will prevent others from getting there. The last story is called Young Hacker. So this was back in 2002. I was somewhat addicted to the MMORPG RuneScape. I had a lot of friends, but there was one friend in particular that I played with a lot. We were both fairly invested in the game and were in the top 2000 on the leaderboards at the time. We both had well-developed accounts, worth quite some money. One morning I logged into our messenger. My friend is very upset, as his main account was hacked. Weak password, keylogger, someone he trusted betrayed him. I don't know. However it happened. He couldn't get in. Worse, the person who did it managed to get his contact information. and was taunting him over chat, threatening him and trying to blackmail him. I was enraged. After about 2 hours of convincing, he finally agreed to give me the contact info of this person so I could talk to them. I'm no tech genius, but I know a few tricks my friend didn't and was too upset to learn at the time. I don't remember if it was from RuneScape or the Messenger, but I got the person's IP address. And the Whois tool to look up IP addresses was something I'd used a few times. So while I started laying into this person, I'm also looking them up. I know there's only so much information I can get, but it's worth a try. It's very quickly clear I'm speaking to a kid, and he's so cocky it was unbelievable. Just before Whois spits out his details, he says his dad is a cop and he's immune to anything, but then Whois gives me a police department in a town in California as the source of the address. I'd never seen so specific information before, but I wasn't about to question it. I'd expected to get the region and use that, but now I had a golden ticket to victory. It took all of 30 seconds before the kid was totally freaking out and begging me not to call his dad, as I rattled out his hometown and where his dad worked. I couldn't just call his dad, even knowing the police department location. No long distance on my phone at the time, but he didn't know that. An hour later, my friend had his account back, with bonus gifts. The kid was transferring items and gold around, and all my friend's gold was gone. But I guess my timing was awesome, because there was 10 times the value of the missing gold and items that he gained in exchange. My friend and I played for another year or two before moving on. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.